Hello, everyone. It's me, Victoria Rogers, your host, and we
Hello,
are
everyone.
here.
It's me,
I did it
Victoria
again.
Rogers,
See, I
your
told you
host,
I would
and
do it
hello,
every
everyone.
time.
It's
I
I
should
did
have.
it again.
I didn't even
See,
think
I
to say
told you I
something.
would
The
do
echo
it
was for
every
life.
time.
This is just it. This is what we do. It's what I do, apparently. So anyway, hi, I'm Victoria Rogers, and I am your host, and I am so excited to play this game. I have been waiting to play this game for a moment and an opportunity since it came out, and of course, my first time gets to be with the designer, and I'm absolutely thrilled. So first, why don't we go over to our first guest? We have B. Dave Walters. Hello.
What? I'm the first guest. Hello. And I have freshly sparkly fingernails because my girls like to paint them, and that's where we live now. Hi, thank you for having me. And hey, the good thing about Roll20 is I won't get the cards all nail polishy now. So technology, science.
Little Red Dot.
Oh, I'm up. Hey, everybody, I'm Dot. I am over the moon to be here. It's been a busy week, and I'm excited to pump the brakes a little bit and play a new game. So thanks for having me. You can find me online as Little Red Dot. I'm a GM and a digital storyteller. I have a channel, but I like to play on cool channels just like this one all over the internet. So check it out.
B.
Hello, I am B Zelda. You can find me on Twitter as @B_Zelda. I am also a GM, podcaster, streamer. I hang around on the internet a lot, and mostly I love magic.
And we have our very special guest, the designer of Spoken Magic, Dylan Grinder. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Dylan Grinder. You can find me at Anarsis pretty much everywhere on the internet. I'm a huge nerd. I do a bunch of huge nerd stuff, largely involving TTRPGs, including writing the game that we're going to play. And I'm real heckin' stoked to introduce it to some new people today.
Awesome. So, well, I guess in that, what exactly is Spoken Magic? What's the little bit of a premise behind it?
Spoken Magic is a card prompt role-playing game about taking a journey through a old and magical land, casting spells to solve problems, and learning about yourself and your friends over the course of that journey. And I like my very compact elevator pitch is it's The Hobbit, but everybody plays Gandalf. So yeah, we're gonna cast some magic. We're gonna visit some places. We're gonna tell each other what those places are, and in the end, we're gonna know a little bit more about magic than we did when we went in.
All right. Well, I'm excited. So let's get started.
Okay, let me look at the rules because I definitely remember how to play my own game that I wrote. And don't need to read the rules, but I'm going to do it anyway. So
Struggle is real, trust me.
that's a lie, chat. I do need to read the rules.
Ah.
So to prepare for Spoken Magic, we create a handout for each of the players, which we have done. Spoken Magic typically is for 1 to 4 players. You can play it solo. You can play it with up to 4 players. We're going to cheat a little bit and break the rules and make some adjustments to accommodate 5 players and 2 hours of game time. I have had some experiences in designing and playtesting this game where it's always 4 hours, no matter how many players I put in. So I've made some changes to the rules to accommodate our current time slot. But it should still be pretty representative. We've got our decks available, and we are good to go. So everyone should have a handout that has their name on it and that you should have edit permissions on in Roll20. This is going to be your little card where you keep your character information. If you were playing this physically, it'd be like an index card, basically, and that's really all you need to keep track of who your character is. And once you have that, could everyone just mouse over the Arcanum deck? And actually, no, I can do this for you. I can deal everyone a card. Amazing, the power of Roll20. So each of you is going to get a blue card called an Arcanum card that tells you the nature of your magic and your magic words. So if I did this right, everyone should have a card now. They do. If you see down at the bottom, there's a little card above your name now. And if you click on that, you can see your hand. So the Arcanum card that I got says that my words are profane. Good, because I think that's the hardest card to play with. So I'm glad I'm the one that got that.
Are you sure? My card just struck me in the heart.
Uh-oh.
Can I read it? Is it private to me?
No, feel free to share.
Your words are formed from nothingness. Does that mean I have nothing to say?
Well, my words are stolen. So what if I steal your words?
Oh, and that's why I have nothing.
Oh, my words are restorative. Yay.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
My words are elemental.
Oh.
Nice. Okay. So we've got an Arcanum, and what I would like each of you to do in your handout is just pick a sorceress name for yourself. There's not a by the rules definition of what a sorceress name is. If you think it's sorceress, it is. So just take a second, sort of mull it over, think about what kind of magic user your character is, what kind of name might go with that.
I have chosen a very old name that I used to use in role-playing chat rooms in the 90s.
Love that.
Yeah, I haven't used it in a long time. Vinifera LeQuinn.
Ooh, that's very pretty.
Yeah.
Speaking of very pretty, all of your lipsticks are marvelous. Like I just like keep losing track. Like I'm staring while you're talking. Like these are the coolest colors.
All right. Everybody got a name?
Yes.
All right. Once we've got our names and our cards, we are going to share our names and then decide who goes first by the most arcane means at our disposal. This is a fun thing where if you're playing in person or with people that you know, you can do like, who last checked their horoscope or whatnot. I'm going to make it easy on us and just roll 1d5 and roll 20 and go based on the cameras and Zoom. And that'll get us going. So 5B, you were going to go first. So if you wouldn't mind, could you share your name with
My name
the group?
Is Zavala Nevin. It's a beautiful name that chat chose for me, so thank you.
Good job, chat.
Oh, it could have been really bad.
And we can just go around as the names are in Roll20 because I don't think that changes per person. So Victoria.
Oh, I am Vinifera LeQuinn. My words are elemental.
Nice. Dot?
I'm going to go with Lady Feve. Lady Feve is, her words are stolen.
Ooh. All right. And then I will go, my character is Lindholm Hellbitten, whose words are profane.
Oh, what a good name.
Two guesses where those words came from. And Dave.
I will be Rustin Vola.
Ooh.
Oh, hell yeah.
My words are restorative.
Ooh, okay. I'm here for this already. So now we're going to go around and do the actual character creation-y bit, which is defining who your person is. So we're going to go around in turns. So starting with you again, B. And on your turn, ask each player to tell you one thing about their character. So you can let them tell you something if they're choosing, or you can ask a specific question if you want. Either one works. So on your turn, you ask each of the other players, and then it moves to the next person, and they ask everyone.
Okay, so an example would be like, Lady Fave, what is my hair like?
I imagine that it goes from deep, dark roots to an embering, burning red at the bottom.
Oh, okay.
All right, gotta add these details now.
This is what your little character card is for, is to keep hold of the little details.
So is the goal for these questions to find out something about them or to find out something about me?
Typically it's you ask the other person to tell you something about their character.
About their character.
I like the twist of asking
I'm
someone else
so
to tell
sorry.
you something about your character. I think it's perfectly valid to also do it that way.
Thank you. But I can ask everybody else a question now. So like, what else do we got over here? Vinafera, can you, what is your garb? What do you typically wear during your most magical of days? Who's Victoria? Are you my lady Vinafera?
Oh yes, I'm Vinafera LeQuinn. Please don't call me lady. I am not knighted.
What is your garb like? What do you wear day to day?
Practical clothing. I am out in the elements frequently, and I often wear trousers and a tunic, lots of leather, and boots.
Rastin Vola, what are your hobbies? What consumes most of your time?
Enjoy a nice pipe smoke by the pond, watching the ducks swim by.
Have you named any of the ducks?
Mr. Biggles is my favorite. I rescued him when he was but a chick. The others' lives are so fleeting, I rarely see them twice.
Mr.
So
Biggles,
I will
though.
fight and die for Mr. Biggles.
It's a duck-eat-duck world out there.
It is. It's Schrodinger's Biggles. Like, stop it. Yeah.
Oh, goodness. And then finally, Lindholm Helbitten.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about your abode? Where do you reside, and how does it reflect you?
I have a small, cheap apartment in a nearby city. It's a mess. It hasn't been cleaned since I moved into it. It just sort of has notes and reagents and various cauldrons of different sizes based on whether I remembered I had one at home or not, just sort of strewn about the place.
Excellent.
The turn shall now pass to Victoria. Victoria, go ahead and ask the other players to tell you something about their character.
All right, Zavola. How do you handle criticism?
Oh, poorly. I deflect all the time, and I will never take responsibility for my actions. Gotta write this down now.
That's a mood. That's a mood.
Am I playing myself?
Lady Fave. Oh, I had a question and it fled. It went. Oh, what is your most fond remembrance?
My most fond remembrance was the last moment I spoke, which was 20 years ago before I took on magic. Now I am mute and only speak by stealing the sounds of the world around me, and I catalog them in a book.
Fuck yeah.
You're like an evil kinku. No.
Yeah, I pull it and I keep it. I keep it in a book. I catalog it and can reuse those sounds later. But my most fond memory is the last thing I spoke.
And
Lindholm, when was the last time your words, no, let's reframe this. What caused your words to become profane?
So interesting thing happens when you leave a bunch of reagents laying around, mixed in with magical scrolls and whatnot. Sometimes it's what people call a fire hazard, and other people call a portal to hell, it really depends on your perspective. And the process of closing a portal to hell or dealing with a fire hazard changes a man.
Rastambola. What is an adventure you and Mr. Biggles went on?
Once a year, the caribou come and cross the waters, which is a very dangerous time for the locals because it attracts wolves. I once had to take him and flee from an encroaching pack as they were searching for the young caribou babies. Unfortunately, I could not save all of them. You know, the circle of life must continue, but Mr. Biggles made it out unscathed. He saw things. He has bad dreams now. When he sleeps, I have to nestle him very close to me. Also, as an aside, once, and this really happened, I was in a bar and a woman walked in with a duck. She sat down at the bar, she put the duck on the bar, and proceeded to order a drink. Literally everyone is like we've walked into a joke, and very slowly people would approach her, and she was really nasty to people, leave me alone. And we're all like, you walked into a bar with a duck.
I had a similar experience, only it was lobsters.
Oh, dear.
There was lobsters on the counter. Yeah.
I was waiting for a priest and a rabbi to walk in next. You know, that's the life I've led. Okay, sorry. Please continue.
All right, I think I asked everyone a question.
Okie doke. Dot, your turn.
All right. Okay. I'm just going to go down the list so that I don't lose track. Rastambola. Get it right, Rastambola. Why magic? What is the purpose of you being able to channel magic?
Well, I will not look you in the eye or let you see my lips, so you cannot steal my words. But the purpose of magic is to restore balance and to make sure that all things live and on occasion die as intended.
Very nice. Zavala
Nevin.
Zavala Nevin. How do we know each other?
I mean, you stole my words, and I haven't had them back ever since. I don't know how necessarily I'm talking, but this is a very audio medium that necessitates speech. So as much as I would love to be like, yo, and to make myself feel better at my own lack of speech, I've cut out my tongue to vow that I will never talk again unless I can seek revenge. But it is a tenuous relationship that we have, because it's not necessarily a vengeance that ends with a winner and a loser, but there is something that I seek.
Oh, a tale of vengeance. That's interesting and unexpected. Okay, that's me. Vinifera LeQuinn. Do you have a favorite element?
Earth. It
Why?
doesn't require much to speak to Earth, and it just gives you exactly what you want. It doesn't play around.
I imagine that I respond by pulling a sound from my tome, the sound of crumbling earth, the breaking of a glacier or the crumbling of a mountainside. And Lindholm Hellbitten.
That's me.
What was your card? What do you speak? Remind me again.
Profane.
Profane. Oh, yes. Do you ever speak profane to yourself? Or only to others?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think yes. I think something fundamentally changed about my magic and about the way I interact with the world when the incident happened, and that affects even the way that I speak to myself.
Wow.
All right. I've got some questions. Got some juicy cues. Rustin Vola. Let's see. What do I got for you? When did you first use magic? What was the first time you used magic?
My father fell off his horse and hit his head on a rock. His life was draining out before me, and I reached down and I cradled him and I held my head up and cried to the skies for the gods to save him, and they did. Ever since then, they have always answered my call.
All right. Zavala.
Yes.
How have you used magic to ease your burden after your words were stolen?
I don't know if it was necessarily an easing of my burden, because in order to utilize my magic, I must continue to give away so that there is truly nothing left of me. But that is a perpetual task. So there is no such thing as eating the burden of that passion for revenge, merely the choice to continue to give so that I can continue to have my power.
Sick. Let's see. Lady Fave.
Yes.
What drove you to take instead of making your own words?
Somewhere in the wind whispers a voice made of other voices, patchwork together, and it simply says, I was never good enough on my own. I had to take from others.
Okay, cool. Vinifera, moving from that light note to something much lighter. When has your magic unintentionally hurt someone?
When I spoke with air, I unintentionally, you say this was lighter, but you asked me this question. It caused a tornado, and it destroyed a hamlet when I was merely trying to, I think I was attempting, this was when I was much younger, and I was attempting to help with blowing smoke and fire away from, I don't know why I would use air to like stoke a fire, but maybe I think what it was is they were doing some like burning of the fields on purpose, but it was getting out of control a little bit. So I was trying to blow it away from the hamlet, but I was a little too powerful, and I ended up destroying it, and that has haunted me to this day. And I'm very careful, maybe too careful now. It hinders me, that fear.
Okay. Dave, it is your turn to ask people questions.
Zavola.
Yes.
What would it take for you to give up magic completely and return to your home and retire in peace?
Oh, you won't like the answer. Oh, I did say that there, like, I don't want like an antagonistic relationship with Lady Fave, but at the same time, if I'm giving up magic, like, what would that really take? I think it would take for all the words to have been stolen to be given back. Like, there's no avoiding that, and I don't think that that necessarily has to be like the end of you, but that might be the end of your magic as well. And we have an understanding that that just can't be.
I'm glad we've entered into a revenge plot.
Oops.
Vinifera. Which of the elements scares you the most?
The soul. That can have irreparable damage if you do not plan carefully. And it's dangerous, extremely dangerous.
Lindholm, Hellbitten. How many people are dead because of you?
You know, surprisingly few, but not zero. I'd really like to say that they all deserved it, but it's hard to rationalize whether or not a given person actually deserves to die. So I try not to think about it too much and say I'm real sorry. Yeah.
Very convincing, Lindholm. Very convincing.
Thanks.
I'm convinced.
Good.
Lady Fave.
Yes.
We've heard much talk about your stealing of words. Do you enjoy it? Or do you do it simply out of necessity?
Yes, that's the question I need to hear.
Oh, this is going to be hard for her to tell you because she has no voice, but she pulls words from her book and the sound rings out across kind of the empty vastness of this green place. And you hear the sound of people screaming and crying and war, rampage. And somehow you realize that she has stolen that sound from a place as if to wipe it from existence. She may steal, but she believes that by taking, she is helping the world in some weird, silent, voidless way.
Well, I think we're ready to set out on our trip then, aren't we?
Well, I guess we know who we are now.
Oh dear, yeah, we do.
We are all now powerful conduits of magic, but to give that energy shape, we will need words. Typically, by the rules, we each draw 6 word cards. That will make this game last forever. So instead, I'm going to deal each of us 2 word cards, which will also make it a lot faster to get us started. 2 cards, everyone. Okay, you should see in your hand now 2 cards from the words deck. I got Burr and Gull. So there's a word and then a series of runes.
I think I don't. I see 2 cards for everybody else. I don't see 2 for me. Am I blind?
You've
I
got
see
2.
2 for you.
If you click the gray cards, maybe.
Could be a Roll20 refresh as well.
Yeah,
All
100%.
right, let me hit it.
Good old refresh.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you all see it, I'll figure it out. Sorry, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Oh,
No
oh,
worries.
there they are. Okay, perfect.
Yay! Okay. Cool. And now my Roll20 is being silly. But yes, you have 2 words. There's a word there that is obviously how it sounds, and then there's a set of runes. You're going to use these and your Arcanum, and I guess also your own personal deep knowledge of magic, to decide what that word means. And what we're going to be doing throughout this game is we're going to encounter some problems. We're going to try and workshop a solution to that problem, with each of us contributing words to spells. So you can be hyper specific. You can be incredibly general. But keep in mind that this is a magic word that you're going to use to try and do something. And there are no wrong answers, though. It's your word. You know what it means.
Okay.
So I've got burr and gull. I got 2 very short. I think I got 2 of the shortest words in the deck.
So do we share them, our words?
Yeah. You can share them as you come up with what they are, or
Okay.
as you have them now. You can.
And do we openly
workshop
share
them
what we
definitions.
think they mean?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah. There's no hidden information in this game.
Well, I also got I got jour, J-R, jour, and I think jour means love.
Oh.
It represents a kind of platonic love, friendship-based love.
Cool. Lindholm Hellbitten, the very chill, bumbling wizard. His words are burr, which means deception, and gull, which means suffering.
Ooh.
What was the second one?
Gull, which means suffering. And I'm writing mine down on my sheet, because part of the game is we'll be trading the words around, and it's just helpful to keep track of what the initial definitions were, so that if someone forgets later, we can just be like, oh yeah, it means this then. Anyone else got some words with definitions?
I
Yeah.
think. Go ahead.
I have le, which is calm pool, and undun, which is loose soil.
Nice.
I only had one, anyways. I have Hinla, which means eternity.
Ooh, yeah.
I have Relbor, which means brilliance, either intellectual or like the shining of the sun. In Dree, or dry, D-R-I-E, which means decay.
Yeah.
Cool. The last word I had was Ezer, E-Z-E-R, and I think that means secret past. Someone's Ezer.
All right.
I need one more. I'm trying to think. Gosh, what are we missing? Do we have anything optimistic? Do we have any hope? I mean, we have brilliance.
You got
And
brilliance.
love. I did put love out there.
Love. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, with the context of your Arcanum, I don't know how positive that was.
No. I'll go with a distance.
Okay.
Harato.
Awesome.
Distance.
Okie dokie. We've got our words, but before our journey can begin, we need a place to journey from, which is our home. I'm going to draw a card from the location deck and put it on the board where it says home. And this will tell us where we're all starting from. So we are starting from the Lake of Runes.
Okay.
So we are now going to go around one more time and take turns describing an aspect of this home and why we as a group are leaving. So B, why don't you start us off with describe something about the Lake of Runes and then a part of why we're leaving.
This Lake of Runes was beautiful when it was still accessible, but now the rain keeps pouring and the water level keeps rising, and we can't access the runes anymore, so its utility is diminished.
All right, Victoria?
Lake of Runes. There are a group of us who catalog the pebbles that runes have been inscribed upon and thrown into the lake. We dive and pick them up and very carefully record those. Those of us who are into elemental magic.
Nice. Do you have an aspect of why we're leaving?
There is a rune that directs that.
Okay.
Oh.
Dot?
Lady Fave, an aspect of this place. I imagine that it is isolated away from many other things. Potentially placed here purposefully by wizards of the past. But we're leaving because I've collected all the sound from this place. And now it is silent, and it is not useful to me anymore.
Ooh. Okay. Do we all know that?
I imagine that dead silence becomes, mind-numbing at some point. But yeah, I would think you would have to know if there was we're talking space level, no sound, void levels of sound.
In my mind, Zavala's already killed you twice, and I brought you back each time. No.
There's an aspect of you broke this thing. You're going to be part of fixing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, the Lake of Runes. I think there's a legend that magic actually comes from this lake, practiced magic. The words that we use come from the lake, and that aeons ago, the first magical creatures of the land were the ones that inscribed the words and cast them into the lake. And then when we discovered them and learned to give them sound, that's how we learned to do magic. So obviously lots of people are upset about the whole silence thing. I think there's an aspect of at least in Lindholm's case, through his intention or otherwise, he's considered a bit of a troublemaker. And I'm seeing some parallels there with Fave. I'm wondering if maybe there's a certain amount of, y'all are not 100% above board, so could y'all go figure this out elsewhere and then come back with the solution, please? And Lindhold is mildly convinced that their journey actually has nothing to do with fixing anything, and it's just to sort of get us out of the house for a while other people
That's a mood.
muck about.
Okay, cool. So we're on a wizard road trip?
That's
I
what it
mean,
seems like.
that's the subtitle of the game, really, is Wizard Road Trip. Spoken Magic, Wizard Road Trip. Dave, what you got?
The animals should have been coming through on their migration by now, and they're not here. Something has happened that has disrupted the natural order, the flow of events. I must find out what it is and set things back to rights.
I mean, I could point fingers, but that's for later.
Right. Also, yeah, they couldn't hear the other animals being like, hey, let's go. And then it's
Let's not.
everything is awful. Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine why like mind-numbing silence and infernal flames and tornadoes might have stopped the wee
Baffling,
beasties
honestly.
from returning.
Oh, did you
Only the
steal the
duck still comes
tinnitus
here.
from people?
Oh, God.
It's just one big sensory deprivation
Yeah,
tank here on
yeah.
the shores of the lake.
But now my
Not
book
what
is full, so we can go
Beagles
exploring.
Oh no.
Okay. And we are ready to begin our journey. So, on your turn, you will draw a location card and describe a scene at the place you have journeyed to based on the prompt that is written on the card. You'll describe the language and its feature, any people that might live there, and other special features. The scene may involve the other characters, and you may invite their players to join you in describing or enacting this moment, as is common in role-playing games, and less common in card prompt games. But ultimately, you, that meaning the person whose turn it is, decide what is and is not included in your scene. Describe the landscape and its features. Take your time bringing about wonder to the description. The land you travel is quite literally only what you describe. When you reach the point where you've decided you're good with the scene, you like where it's been, and you're ready for something exciting to happen, just say that you're satisfied with the scene, and we'll move on to discussing how problems work. So, B, why don't you start us off by drawing a location card and putting it in the location spot on the
Yeah, disagreement. My eyes can't actually read the yellow font though. What does it say?
It is Diamond River.
Oof. We haven't even traveled that far past our lake. This is still the beginning of our journey. And the five of us have embarked on this wizard road trip, each for our own purposes, very different goals. But nonetheless, this path was, supposed to lead us together. And within the first night, I think there was the loudest silent disagreement that y'all might have heard. I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring out, I must speak. There must be, it's a magical projection, my voice. And it's loud and it shakes the trees with the sound waves because we're definitely in a forested area. But as Rastin Vola has pointed out, there are no animals in this area. There are no birds. There are no rabbits. There are no insects. We're walking through this area that has not yet been captured by Lady Fave, and yet it's too quiet. I think that's all I got.
Is there any rebuttal there?
Oh,
or does Lady
interesting.
Fave just sort of take that on the cheek?
I mean, guilty as charged, right? No, okay. So she responds, I'm sure, in their disagreement in turn with loud and large amounts of reverberating sound to prove that the sound is not gone, it's just displaced, to make her argument. Yeah, and more than likely, if your voice, this magical voice rings out big, I steal it.
Stop capturing my magic. It is not to feed you.
It's like yin and yang, I imagine. It's just like a constant, you need me to take it and I need to take it.
And then the three of y'all are just walking alongside of the bickering two of us in this sound, also silent, chaotic, noiseless energy.
Yeah, Lindholm's got a book out and he's doing that thing where he's not actually reading, he's just making this face where no one can see.
I'm trying to shush Mr. Bickles so she doesn't steal his little like grumbly squawks.
Not Mr. Pickles.
It's true.
Maybe we have a truce. I promise not to steal his. That's why I get to stay. I promise not to steal his.
It's the price of you getting brought back to life.
Of getting brought back to life every time. It's the promise that I'll never take Mr. Biggles' voice.
Schrodinger's Biggles. Yep. Exactly. He is all ducks and no ducks all at once. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's great.
Goodness. What about Vinifera?
Yeah, Vinifera is taking this moment to sing. Vinifera doesn't mind Lady Fafe's power because with the elements there is rebirth, especially within soil. So my sound, any sound that is stolen from me, there is a rebirth. So I just take this time to sing and enjoy the fact that there is sound. And I try to mimic birdsong.
I love the lateness of the scene that you've created as Rastin Vola's kind of like probably walking near you, holding on to little Mr. Biggles. And then there's just like the clash of Lady Fabe and I. Well, y'all are just like hanging out. We're just walking on a lovely road, passing a beautiful river in a forested area. It's just like, I wish there was more wildlife.
I'm trying to emulate it. I'm doing my best.
Great.
And I can't steal it because I'm busy stealing something else, so the birds just have to stay. The bird sounds just have to stay.
Does your stealing of Zavala's shouting sound like the sound happens, but there's no echo? Like there's
yeah,
there's
it
no
like rings
reverb off
out and
the
I
trees or
rip
anything?
it. Yeah. It's just like a constant like and just a constant like rip and tear of sound back and forth.
Rude.
It's really just an average morning for us, though.
Like I said, yin and yang always in the spin.
All right. Are you satisfied with your scene?
I am.
Okay. Once you're satisfied with your scene, a problem occurs.
Oh,
Draw a
of
problem
course.
card and describe the issue at hand based on the prompt written on the card. Discuss who the problem affects and why, and explain why the problem must be solved with magic.
Legitimacy in question. What am I questioning? I mean, I want to try and poke at Lady Fave, but also I kind of want to, I think as we're walking down this pathway and we have Vinifera with that beautiful songbird, there's a break in Lady Fave and Zavala's arguing. And for a moment, all you can hear is the soundbird's song kind of filling the air. And it's a beautiful moment until because I'm critical, I don't take criticism. I will deflect and push out my own insecurities. So I think I'm going to shout in my magical intonation and ask, who do you think you are replicating the birds when we have no birds here? Your legitimacy of your bird song is in question.
I do it because it's enjoyable.
But no birds arrive. What is the purpose? Even the tiny Mr. Biggles is shivering as like my screams and like booms create little sound waves that ruffle his feathers.
I'm reveling in the fact that there is sound around us when it has been void for so long.
And that's certainly the fault of somebody. But this is no bird sound. We need true birds. I can't continue to listen to this. I must hear the cacophony of various birds ringing.
We are on a trip to find them. At least some of us are.
We should hurry. Getting impatient.
It'd be best if you were to breathe slowly.
Angrily out my nostrils?
and then let the anger wash out of you in your exhale.
Oh, we have a familiar.
Also, the cat's making no noise. Coincidence?
I think not.
Is it possible that the problem here then is the lack of birds, and that's what we want to try and solve with magic?
Oh, yeah.
I think so. I think that's kind of what I'm picking and poking at.
Okay.
Mm.
So
nature and
now that we
balance a
have
little
our problem, we gotta work collectively to select which words we want to commit to a spell, and in what order. So the big important things are no player may commit more than one word to a spell, but at least one person has to. So you can't have a spell that's 0 words, and no one can dump multiple words into a single spell. When you commit a word to a spell, you get to choose if you are helping or hindering.
What do you mean hindering?
If you would like to hinder the spell, you may contribute a word against the spell's effectiveness. Otherwise, if you're helping, then it goes toward making the spell happen. There are 3 possible options. There's like, we really did the magic, it's great. We kind of did the magic, it's okay. And if someone hinders, there's a chance for us to fail completely. Yeah. So, who's got words that they think are appropriate for this magical goal of trying to get the birds back?
I do. Undune for loose soil, so that they can easily access worms and other grubs for their dinner.
Oh, I love that
Okay.
interpretation.
I will contribute brilliance. So they will see the sun high in the sky shining brightly and warm and letting them know that this is where they should be. Something to help guide their way.
Very cool.
Once we use a word, is it gone or is it still?
Yeah. So once we use a word, it goes away. At the end of a given turn, you get to pick one word. If more than one word was used, you get to pick one to give to somebody. So there's an opportunity to save one, but most often, yeah, the words are spent.
What the heck? It's a one shot. I'm gonna use one more word. I have distance because it is imperative in the span of a bird's life to be able to travel a lot of distance, and to imbue that kind of energy just gives them, these birds that we're creating with magic, the power to succeed, I guess.
All right. Lindholm is staying out of this one because he kind of feels like there's a fight going on, and he doesn't really want to take sides.
Well, it's kind of my fault, so I'm also going to stay out.
You're not going to hinder? I'm surprised.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
I guess I could help.
Why would you say that?
I could help.
Help? Okay.
I could help.
Are you gonna like secretly tab out to Dylan like, I'm not helping, this is a hinder?
Yeah, I refuse. Count me out. No. She, just trying to decide. She wouldn't give up a word. Well, she might. She'll give up deep love. She'll give up deep love. That's sure. Because birds need places to procreate, make new birds and a healthier ecosystem. So she gives up a sound of deep love, the first sound of a mother crying after a newborn babe has been born, the first sound of joyous tears.
Damn. Okay. All right. Everyone who's contributing a word, go ahead and drag that from your hand onto into the play area, and we'll decide what order to put the words into to sort of make a phrase for our whole spell. So we've got brilliance, we've got loose soil, we have distance, and we
deep
have
love.
deep love. So maybe something like sending the brilliance of deep love and loose soil over distance. Maybe something like that.
Oh.
Yeah, because we're casting it out into the distance so that many can hear.
Mm-hmm.
So loose soil, deep love. What were the other two? Loose soil, deep
brilliance,
love,
and distance.
Brilliance.
Relbor is brilliance, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Where's brilliance? Yeah, that seems right.
Mm-hmm.
Like in order, like loosen the soil, bring in love, right? Send it to a distance, and then bring in brilliance. Like that order of words makes sense in my head.
I mean, that flows, yeah.
Yeah.
It's magic.
Okay, so loose soil was Endun?
Yeah, Andun, yeah.
All right, and then
Deep love
was
was Jor.
Jor. And then Kato, and ending on brilliance with Relbor here. So, B, it is your turn, which means you have the privilege of casting our magic spell. When you've completed writing your spell, the current player recites the words and describes its magic. You will roll one 6-sided die for each helping word. If there have been hindering words, you'd roll a 4-sided die for that. So in this case, because we've got 4 words, just drop a quick 46 in chat after you describe the initial effects of the magic. And depending on that roll, you will see how effective the magic actually is.
Oh gosh, I really need my glasses one of these days.
Yeah.
They're all made up words. You can't mispronounce them, I promise.
Very kind of you to say. Watch me. Andan Joror Herato Relbor. And as Zavala Nevin kind of casts their arms to the sky, there is a cascade of wind that billows all of the rustling leaves, on the ground, all of the fresh leaves that still remain on the trees. It's just the sound of that rustling at first. And then you start to hear the distant calls of a flock of birds. And I think in the horizon, we just see the sky blackened by this, there's got to be like, I guess flock is the word, by this flock that has been summoned. And as this dark cloud starts to approach us, there's almost this brilliant effect that is illuminating them somehow in the sky that they have blotted out. As you can start to see like the shapes of the birds, you can tell like they're well loved, they're well cared for. These are creatures that have been made from life, from beauty, and from absolute love. I'm really nervous about my roll.
It's okay.
You got this.
What if I just made like one bird?
Hey, but that's what.
Oops, I need more than that.
Yeah, 3 more D6.
Ignore that one. I'm just gonna reroll them all.
Okay.
D6. Click, click, click.
Okay, so we did not get a full success.
Oh no! Did I summon
you got
like
a
2
full
birds?
So there are 3 options. If one dice rolls a 6, the spell is successful and the current player describes how the problem is solved. If none of the dice show their highest number, then the spell is weak, and that's what we got. If there had been a hindering word, if there are no 6s but there is a 4, then the spell fails completely, and the person who hindered takes over narration of what happens next.
Wow, interesting.
And bonus points, if you successfully hinder a spell, you get to look at the next card on the problem deck and decide to put it, to discard it or to keep it for the next turn. So, but in this case, no dice show their highest number. The spell is weak and only partially effective. The current player describes how the problem is solved, but only partially or temporarily.
It's like 20 birds.
I helped her this time, I promise.
I look at you pointedly. But they're like 20 happy
Just
birds.
Mr. Biggles hops over like, ah.
Mr. Biggles has friends
honking,
now.
or quacking, right?
Yes.
It's a duck, not a goose.
But yeah, they're happy. They're well fed. You know, they're already beginning to roost, setting up nests and laying eggs.
Oh, that's
So like
fast.
those 20 birds, they're magical.
Oh yeah.
They're doing well. There's just not a whole lot of them. So there's like a mild background chitter of bird song. Honestly, it's not really as pretty as it would have been when Vinifera was singing, but I will not admit that.
Of course not. Why would you? Once the spell is complete, if 2 or more words were committed, which they were, the current player gifts one of the committed words to another player. All other words will be lost. So pick one of these 4 words to gift to another player.
That's so intense. I'm gonna gift. What was yours? Jill Roar?
Yeah, the second one.
I'm gonna gift that one to who's my book reading? Lindholm Hellbitten.
Oh, okay. I'm very surprised by this. What does it look like when you gift the word?
I like to imagine that this whole entire time you weren't like actively paying attention. You had your book open and you were just kind of like peering over the top of it. So this is almost like an olive branch. Like this is me saying like, hey, it's cool to argue with us. You can tell us we're being too loud. Just take this as like a token of kindness and respect and close the book and just throw it at us once in a while. It's okay.
Nice. Okay, I will take that word. There are more players than there are discards, but that's fine. We'll pretend there's a 5th discard over on the right. And I'm just going to go by Roll20 order. So Victoria, yours was Undoom, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we'll put that in the player 1 discard here. This is important because some cards can let us pull from previous words, and so it's just good to keep track of whose words were whose. And Hekato was yours, B?
Correct.
And Relbor was Dave's. Cool. We can discard the problem, and B, if you would right-click the location card and hit Take Card. We'll be saving
it's
that for
mine?
Yes, you get to keep the location for
Oops, I took the wrong location.
end phase of the game. Uh-oh.
I took the home.
Whoops.
My home now. All right, we're good.
Okie doke. It's not showing up on my Roll20, so I'm going to refresh real quick. But that thus ends your turn, and we shall turn our gaze now to Vinifera, I believe.
Ooh. So that
so
is.
go ahead and draw us a new location. And pro tip for reading the cards, if you click the card and press Z, it'll show you a full-size preview of the card.
There we go.
Roll20 hot tips.
Sparrow Song Ravine. What's
Ooh.
missing?
Ooh.
Well, we just did Birdsong.
We can never have too much. Let's be real. Ducks are the theme of this game. Shout out to Mr. Biggles.
Yes.
The stream at the bottom of the ravine is missing.
Oh.
I can't collect its noise if it's not there.
Yeah, the stream is not there. It's a dry ravine when it should not be.
It's me on my off days as a streamer. Is this a place that Vinifera has been to before?
Yes, I think so. Because this ravine is part of the same water system that feeds the Lake of Runes. And occasionally there are people who will toss a pebble with a rune or something like that further up not exactly in the lake. And sometimes they get stuck, and I need to make sure they make them to their proper home.
I think for Lindholm's part, he's probably like, I'm imagining if the stream is gone, there may be some deposited like rune stones still hanging out in the stream bed. I think Lindholm was like bending down and picking them up and like pocketing every fifth one or something.
Yeah, I picture it's a fairly steep ravine, and it's full of dead leaves and detritus, and there's a whole bunch of like birch trees along its edge.
Okay.
And it's full of Sparrow Song.
Interesting.
I'm very happy here. It's quite nice.
I whistle along.
How does Fave react to there being so much sound after just previously, like the day before, getting chewed out for there being no sound?
For there being no sound. Honestly, she's a smidge disappointed. She already has birdsong cataloged in the book. She doesn't need that. What she needed was the fresh sound of water running through a ravine, which she doesn't have now. So being who she is, there's this obsession with the fact that something else has already stolen her sound. Nobody steals sound but her, but because the ravine's not there in its own rightful way, Mother Nature has taken this sound. And I guess it's what I imagine it's very, very far down, like staring down in like a ravine of the Grand Canyon. Like it's very far at the bottom and it's not like there anymore. And so I sit on the edge of one of these rocky cliffs staring at an empty, dry ravine, somehow a reflection of my soul.
Oof.
Are you satisfied with your scene?
Well,
Or would you
what
like
is
more?
the rest of everyone else doing in this? What is Rust and Vola doing?
I'm looking down at the dry ravine and looking up at the bright, warm sun that I helped manifest to myself, in wondering if this blight on the land can be healed somehow. I'm looking for any small sign of life, the smallest blossoming flower, the tiniest crawling bug, just any sign, if it's just the normal ebb and flow of the seasons and the rains have just been delayed, or if something worse is happening here. And warily eyeing my profane friend in the meantime, hoping above hope that Lindhorn Hellbitten hasn't inadvertently brought something terrible to these lands. Or maybe quite advertently.
Do you want a rock? It's got a rune on it.
I do not want a rune rock, thank you.
Oh, okay. I'll keep this one then. More for me.
I mean, I'll take a rock, but like only the purple one, please.
Careful that you're not entering into some sort of weird contract by the exchange of rune rocks.
I'm gonna look nervously.
Opens his bag. There's like, I don't know, 30 rocks in there at that point, and so he's just like digging through trying to find a purple one. I just had. Here.
I'm satisfied with that scene.
All right. Would you like to draw a problem card and let us know how everything goes sideways?
The Hollow Hunt. All players must contribute a word.
Okay,
Yeah.
then. Well, that's going to burn our words real fast. So,
Okay.
describe the problem, who it affects and why it must be solved with magic. There are some spells like this one that have extra rules text, they have additional instructions. If we can't follow the rules, in this case we can, because everybody does have at least one word. But if we couldn't, then the spell automatically fails. So.
Ooh. Okay.
Something
Well,
to keep
I
in mind.
think what happens is there is that brilliance of that sun shining down, down into the ravine through the birch leaves, filtering through, and then there is a blight upon its brilliance, for coming down from the sky and further down the ravine away from us, but coming towards us, come flying skeletal horses that come galloping from the air down into the ravine, and atop these skeletal horses are sunken, hollowed people. And they come galloping, galloping, galloping toward us. It is the Hollow Hunt, and they are here to hunt for souls.
Ooh, cool.
Can I give them a rock that you gave me instead of a word?
Yeah. How do I make that?
Hi, I would like. Can I offer you a rock in these terms?
I'd like to roll the disbelief. Like, nah, nah.
Dang it.
Okay, so I have 3 words right now.
Okay.
Deception, suffering, and deep love. So, I think I'm gonna offer up suffering, and because I feel like we want to get them away from us. Oh, deception might make more sense actually.
I got a big old one word, and it means decay. So we're just gonna
I'll stick
put
with
that out.
suffering.
Put that out there. Yep.
I'm gonna put out the only word I got, which is Ezer. And I wrote down, what did I call that? Oh yes, that is secret past. Secret past.
Okay.
Okay, I think we're building something though. I'm getting a vibe. I've got it's a distant vibe. I have Hinla, which means eternity.
Ooh.
Right?
Ooh, this is going somewhere.
I just I could feel it. I don't know where. But I know it's somewhere.
Mhm.
What if we send them to a secret past for all eternity?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
Or-
what are our other words?
The word I'm bringing is le, which is calm pool.
Ooh.
Okay, so we have rot, we have suffering, eternity, a calm pool, and what's the 5th one I'm missing here?
A secret passage.
Secret passage.
Past.
Oh, excuse me, yeah.
Secret past.
Past. Okay.
Well, since I know I always seek to heal and restore, maybe we can call upon their guilt from their secret past to help drive them towards a calm pool of reflection and peace that we can guide them away from us.
For all eternity.
Okay.
Yeah,
For all eternity.
eternity.
Love it. Love it.
Which one was eternity? Was that Ezer?
Ezer past.
I'm eternity. Hinla.
Hinla. Okay. So, whew, this is a long ass spell.
It's
Okay.
gonna be a good one though.
Gotta cast
maybe
real good
it's like-
magic.
Something like a secret past of suffering, and letting them rot, as in like decay.
Yes, let them decay.
To a calm pool for all eternity.
There we go. That's what's
Yeah.
up.
There's something kind of beautiful about that in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're sunken and hollow, and they're trying to feed their own lack of soul with others. So this
Mm.
brings
Mhm.
them peace
Like, yeah.
in death.
Even though they were hunting us, but that's fine.
Yeah, it's what's a little hunting human beings between friends, really.
Yeah, it's not like I'm sure
Um,
they've killed millions of our other wizarding
so-
traveling folk.
We have hunted countless animals that we bore no ill will to. They simply had something we needed to survive.
Yes.
All
I
right.
refuse to accept that.
That is where you fail.
Venifera, would you like to recite the magic words and then describe the spell's magic before rolling our massive 5d6?
All right.
Yeah.
Azir Gudri Lohinla. And there is a rumble in my voice as I say it, because it's the earth that comes from my voice. And because we're talking about decay and we're talking about past, and there's lots of things buried in the past. So the rumbling comes from me where I'm standing near the ravine, and it starts to shoot down, and you can see the ravine shake and shake, getting closer to the galloping horses. And from the ground pools water from a deep water underground source, and the water trembles slightly as the ground trembles. But then, as everything softens, ripples fade, and the pool in the ravine is calm. And it isn't broken until the first horse's foot touches it. And I think I should roll to see how effective this is.
How we do? Yeah.
Ooh, so 5d6.
Yep. Come
Wow.
on, 6. Oh, so close. The spell is weakened, only partially effective. Describe how it is solved, but only partially or temporarily.
They're pulled into this pool, but the pool isn't calm enough. The horses are too full of vigor. They fed not too long ago, and so they still have this false life within them. And they are pulled down into it, but it is not for eternity. And we only have a short amount of time in which we have to flee.
Okay. Pick one of these words to gift to another player. I would recommend Dot because it's her turn next.
3 was decay, yes?
Right, I think it was.
I'm going to take the word 3 and pass that to Dot.
All right.
So we said it was rot.
Mm-hmm.
Decay.
It is decay.
Yeah.
We want it to be both.
Well, I meant in the sense that it's not it could theoretically be necromantic, but it also could just be returning to the earth. Just things fall apart, decay.
Okay.
Alrighty. And I don't remember whose words were what, so put your word in your Discord pile if it's
Right.
Oh, yep,
not
got you.
that. And Dot, you should be able to right-click Drie and hit take card to put it in your hand.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Okay.
Then we discard the problem here, and Victoria, you can take the location card into your hand. And then we move on to Dot's turn.
And I draw a new location card.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Location card says,
Ooh.
Shores of Terror. What you hope not to find.
Oh, dang.
Ooh.
So it's never like, untended picnic basket. Enjoy a cheerful lunch. No, okay,
No.
got it. Right.
Shady
Cool.
hilltop.
Cool.
Yeah.
Grassy knoll. Got it.
Cool.
Mhm.
Cool. Yeah. Cool. Okay. So this is intense. The Shores of Terror. What are they the shores of? The Shores of Terror.
Terror.
Yep. Great. Wonderful.
Solved.
I would say as we continue upon our journey, we come across this kind of deadened space, not in sound, but in actual life energy. And the ravine that once was has receded back and created an ocean of souls. It has collected and captured those that have found themselves like caught in its wake over the millennia. And now it is something different. And we hope not to find the souls of our enemies here, because this may be where they came. But we are going to have to traverse it by boat.
Oh, spooky and ooky. Don't love that.
Hey, you're the one who's profane. This should be in your wheelhouse.
You know, what is profane? Really?
They may have the most informed opinion as to why this is bad.
I am not worried about running into anyone here, because why would that be a concern that I have? Fave, you must have like lots of people that you'd be worried about encountering here, right?
Oh, I imagine. But I catch their voice a second time, because every time it crashes on the shore, we hear the whispers of their souls. I take their voices a second time.
Cool. Yeah, Lincoln is sweating bullets.
Maybe
How terrible of a person to capture the restless spirit's voice.
You just be like, I'll do that. I got a second hand, but it's fine.
A lot of just angry, silent spirits just like leering at you from the shore.
Maybe there is like a ferryman that has to, why not? Let's be a little mythological about it. There's a ferryman that comes and has to move us across this sea of souls to get to I guess, to dry land on the other side. He like pulls up out of the smoky fog on a boat that we all just fit on.
Yeah.
That also eeks and creaks and aches. Yeah.
A single lantern on the prow.
Yeah. What is everybody doing?
I am very uncomfortable.
Yep.
Cramped, damp. I can't see in front of me. And like nothing has stopped creaking. Could you just take that? I don't think I like the sound of creaking. Could you take that for me?
Oh, maybe this is the first time I take no sound. Because they're not talking. It's the first time that my party's totally silent on this trip. And I let them simmer in the creaking and the whispers of souls, like souls in water.
It doesn't sit well.
Yeah, this is why I do not like the element of the soul.
Oh, yes.
Because this is terrifying. And one wrong word and you can disrupt all life of itself. So I am making sure that I am silent because I do not wish to disturb this.
In an ironic twist, Rust and Vola keeps looking over the side at the drowned soldiers in the water that Mr. Biggles keeps like pushing him back from.
Oh,
Mr. Biggles.
Mr. Biggles, the
The
voice
hero
of
we
reason
all
in this
actually
party.
need. Yeah.
Literally.
Oh. Oh, yes. I revel in their silence. Okay, so I draw another card now, right?
You draw a problem card from the red deck.
Okay, yes. Problem card for the go. Problem card says a spreading blight. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, maybe we come across the boat starts like slowing. This sea is getting thicker with this kind of moldy bacteria that is growing on the surface that is eating away at these souls left by the wake of another wizard. Yeah, left by the wake of another wizard. And yeah, that's what's up. There's something about this that troubles her, because if we stay still for too long, this could, I don't know, be bad for all of us, including myself. ooh, and it's airborne, and it's beginning to stick to her book and eat away at the pages. And she's beginning to panic because as the pages get eaten away, the sounds are escaping, and it's causing this kind of mass commotion and drawing attention.
Yeah, I like that.
Can the first sound you release be like the souls? So like we have that horrible, just like passive screaming in the background.
Yeah, and they're like diving back into the water, but there's this like green ichor on the surface that's like brought the boat to kind of this like peanut butter thick stump.
Thanks. I hate it. Yeah, it's Rastenvala sort of has like a stick and sort of scoops some of the goo, and it's like, yes, it's a blight. Drop the stick, all of it into the water.
Oops. Yep, it's a blight.
Just gonna let that
That's
go.
some real blight right there. Okay.
Okay.
Like Blight Bay.
Yeah, Blight Bay.
Oh boy.
Oh.
You and I are the only ones with words now, thanks to the hollow hunt.
Yeah.
What is the word that you have?
I have decay. I have decay, which I have a thought. Okay, so I will play it. Dre. Okay.
Lindholm is like clearly bothered by this whole experience, and I think was sort of sitting wrapped up as much as he could until the blight started happening and all the souls started pouring out of your book. At which point I think he stood up in like surprise and almost by reflex offers the word jour, which meant deep love.
Oh, nice. Okay. Lady Fave is a little chaotic, and she walks the line, but she took sound because she loved the world so much. So what if this is actually, if this is a organic like plague on the top of the water, like like I said, a bacteria or something, we could in fact decay it through love. It's a love decay. It eats away at this horrid bacteria that feeds on souls.
I listened to a lot of Love Decay in college. Yeah.
real underground group.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably never heard of it.
About 6 feet underground to be specific.
Thoughts on that? A love decay?
I like that. It could, to propose another option, it could be teaching, like if we think of the souls as decay, we could be teaching the blight to have love for the thing that it was made to eat instead.
So it becomes food for the souls so they don't eat us.
Yeah.
Oh, something for them to feed on.
So we're giving this blight a deep love for the decay all around it.
Oh, we're creating balance. Okay, I'm so here for this. I love that. Okay. So, George, I say with the sound, it's made the sound of creaking doors. It comes out yow, as it creaks from my completely agape mouth because that's all I can do. And I'll roll 2d6.
Close again.
Okay, well,
What is with these rolls? Come on.
I know we have
quality
rolled
magic.
so many d6s, and we've gotten 5s every time.
I think our wizard drama is really blocking our magic.
Yeah, we've got
Maybe.
some interesting
Wizard
stuff
drama.
to work out. It does work, but it will either be only partially effective or temporarily effective. Your call.
Okay. All right. Let's say it's only temporary. I mean, the real reason I need it out of this is so they stop eating my book. So I'm game for it to be temporary. Like, that's really why I was doing this. So it's enough of a distraction for a period of time for them to kind of, for this bacteria to release the boat and the souls to ignore us as they begin to consume this love bacteria all over the top of this water, this soul water. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot, y'all. And then and we're the ferryman is able to continue our journey and we cut through the love decay on the surface of the soul water.
Soul Water is the first album by Love.
That's the spell we're really weaving. That whole thing just makes itself. Yes.
And so I'm supposed to give a word to someone.
Yeah, you'll give one of these two words, either Juror or Drie, to one of the other players.
Well, Juror, which meant deep love, was originally taken from Zavilla. So I'm going to give it back. Along our journey, I finally gave a word back.
What does that look like? What is this moment between us? Are we off the boat? Have we paid the boat person? What did we even offer?
Oh, yeah, what did we even offer the ferryman to get across? I don't know. We kind of offered him his life.
Maybe Lindholm like has a little whispered conversation and then doesn't tell you.
Doesn't tell us but it's paid for.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Yeah, I imagine when we get to the other side, the sound that was kind of created from this change of bacteria on the water from something that was putrid to something that was love begins to kind of dissipate as they've been consuming it. And so I pull the sound of love back from the bacteria as we reach dry land. And instead of pressing it into my book that's now partially eaten, I decide that there is no more space for this word, that I have no more use for it, and that it's time to give it back to you. And I simply, I press it. I press it onto the original page that I took it from 20 years ago at the front of the book. I rip it clean and I give it back to you.
I accept it more than willingly, but after I have it kind of clutched to my chest, I look a little askance and I say, "You know this means nothing to me." And I'll put it away in my pocket.
Oh, we got assumed at a wizard.
I live for that trope.
Okay, then B, why don't you take Juror? And
It's mine.
I think Drie was originally...
Oh, it goes back to its original owner.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So over here. And we'll discard the problem. You can keep the Shores of Terror. That's yours to hold on to.
Surprise!
And I will draw our next location, and we are going to, survey says, oh, great, Fracture, Forbidden Magic. So I think this is, because we've got 1 to 2 more locations after this, depending on card polls. I think this is like the gateway to our destination.
Oh, okay.
And there's a vast rolling plain with very shallow hills, and most of the contour is seen by watching the wind rush over this dead gray grass. And in the center of the plain, there is a shattered, like, purple crack just hovering in air. And it's clear to us as we enter this sort of valley that the crack itself was made by an ancient and forbidden wordless magic, something primal and untamed.
Wordless magic.
How do y'all react to that?
I mean, I hide my feelings, but I definitely look interested.
I have never heard of such wretched things as wordless magic. And it is my nightmare. Magic cast without sound. I weep silent tears at such a concept.
This does not bother me at all. The sun, the moon, the wind, the rain is all wordless magic. It's just another form of it.
Yeah, that's along the same lines that I'm going along with. Is it's natural, it's elemental, not a stone, a mountain. It's firm in itself and understanding.
Yeah, I think Lindholm continues his pattern of being incredibly nervous around most of the things we're encountering. I think he's been getting steadily more nervous with each passing day, and I think he'll mutter once, twice, maybe 20 times over the course of us getting closer and closer to this crack in reality. Something to the effect of, I wonder who or what could have done that. wouldn't want to run into them. Probably that'd be bad. How's Biggles? How you doing, bud? Buddy.
Biggles is looking at this, wondering if this is a crack to be healed or a natural fissure to be admired. Biggles is a scholar among duck kind.
Of course.
And I placed the tiny monocle over
I
Biggles'
was gonna say,
eye
please put a tiny monocle.
when they want a closer look at something. Mhm.
Yeah.
Also, it helps me pick
just-
him out of the flock.
Lindholm just watches Rastan Vola put this monocle in front of what to him is just a duck. Goes, yeah, we're doomed. And I would like to draw the problem for this location and see what happens. Oh, good.
I appreciate the horrible crack in reality is not the problem. It's the setting. Got it.
No,
Great.
it's
Oh no.
on the brink of war. Draw an additional problem. Oh, great.
Oh no.
An ancient curse. Good news. One word must be profane or hindering. Because my words are automatically profane, we don't need to hinder here. If we didn't have someone in the party whose words were profane, it would require someone to hinder.
Great.
So, on the brink of war and an ancient curse. Ooh. I think what lies beyond this fissure is a realm of pure magic. Whereas here, magic manifests through things and is rooted in what we would consider normal and real. The realm that we're looking into through this fissure is the wellspring of magic, of pure arcane chaos that seeps through the stones and pours out from the sun. It's a realm that protects itself. It pours some of itself into our world on its own terms. It does not take kindly to people meddling with it or pressing into it. And so there is an ancient curse, I think, inscribed in runes along the ley lines that sort of form the border between our worlds.
Yes.
Written by the realm itself, that should the barrier be breached, this army of magic, these beings of legend, these creatures of fire and ice, will pour forth from that breach and lay claim to our world. Which would be bad. It would kind of affect everyone.
Are the runes in place? Is that why we've come here? They're out and...
I think maybe the magic that cracked this open cracked through the runes to an extent.
Yeah. So that's why we're on the brink of war.
Yeah.
being them coming through, these ancient beings.
Yeah,
Ooh,
and I think
why?
there is this presence, like the not a literal avatar, but a felt presence of the realm that we can feel on the other side of this fissure. Like we can just feel its will as it's preparing to surge these creatures through.
So it's like a will of violence for sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I have one word. It's burr. It means deception.
Yeah.
Lindholm is lying. And Lindholm is going to tell the biggest fib of his life and say, crack? I don't see any. Do you guys see anything here? There's nothing here. And he's like weaving magic into what he's saying in the hopes that he can convince this thing to just ignore the breach that has happened here. Would Savala like to contribute?
Somehow. I mean, they are aghast at the scene in front of them. And then your reaction is so flippant, so calm that there's just like a moment where they can't quite process what's happening. Oh heck, and I think also like that's a little bit for me too, because how is the application of like true what was the exact definition, Dot? It was love, but
deep love.
Deep love. Yeah, so like deep love when we are on the brink of war. There is a curse yet to be unleashed. Like we are steps away from our own destruction. Is it too anime that the power of love can be what saves us? What is the
No, we are
interpretation
magical
of that?
girls, right?
It worked on XR Khan. It'll work on anybody. So, you know. Yeah. Deep cut, kids. Google it.
I was about to say, I don't have a word to offer. So I just think I there in my silent tears, I put my book forward as an offering. I give up all the sounds I've ever created to empty myself of my magic, staring into forbidden magic that doesn't require sound. It's the solution to her problem. She may not have to take anymore if she offers it up, and the book spills out all these sounds that create just enough of a moment for all of you to cast something, because I don't have anything to offer you.
Yeah, Rustin Vola is also out of words, so he's just looking at a way to seal this up, because on the other side, they're probably worried too that something is our world's gonna spill into theirs, which is, you know, I'm sure they don't like either. So, and we can just set everything to right, but he's out of words.
Yeah, I'm speechless in fear.
Okay. B, do you want to pop down that word?
Yeah.
Is it a deception of deep love, or is it a deep love of deception?
Are both the same? Oh heck. A deep love of deception or deception. I think it's a deception of deep love. That everything is okay, you know, the safety and security that love offers.
I love this.
That's really
At the end, we're going to save everything with a lie.
Oh, right. Right.
I love it so much.
There's only 2d6 though, and I'm scared.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a deception of deep love. So Lindholm Hellbitten, who definitely got us in a very innocuous way, it just turns to you and says, I don't see anything wrong here. I mean, and he turns back and looks directly through the fracture and says, Bourgeois. And his words like sound like they come from inside the portal, like the being on the other side is saying them back to us almost. And there's a rumble and a sound of something like ice cracking And I'm gonna roll 2d6. Oh yeah!
Yes! Yes!
Finally,
When it matters the most.
love
It
came
is.
through.
You're the reverse Avatar. When you mattered the most, you showed up. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and it's said so matter-of-factly. There's this climactic moment, and then the crack just claps closed. And we look out at this field of gray, deadened grass. And Lindholm, like, whew. Well, shall we get going?
It just gently tossed Mr. Biggles into the air and he flies off. His work here is done.
And I am going to gift Joror deep love to Rastinvala.
I has a word.
You do has a word.
I am literally out of them now. My book has been consumed in its entirety. I am just a silent, lost little wizard. I can't cast magics anymore.
We can get you a new book.
Dave, take us to the final location.
Yes.
How do I go about recovering
Okay, so
my word?
Oh, right-click the word and hit take card at the top.
Which one of these words is it?
Joror. The one in the middle of the...
Ah, there we are. I'm from Arkansas. I think I say that a lot different than y'all say that word. All right. I'm like, J-Roar? Okay, the last...
Just drag one of the green ones from the top of the net onto the table.
Here. Oh, hang on. Sorry.
It should be the card that slides out. Yeah.
All right.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we got... Oh, where are we headed? Let's see.
Salt
Wait.
Cliffs, making camp.
Salt Cliffs. My attempts at reading it up close have gone horribly wrong. All right.
That should pop at
Yeah.
full screen.
There we are. Making camp. Hey, no, this is perfect. This is perfect because we're going there and back again now.
Yeah, that's right.
I think having seen the rift close, so matter-of-factly, Mr. Biggles takes to the wing, and as we all sit there sort of enjoying the blowing breeze, looking at Lady Fave, wondering what she's going to say now, hopefully having recovered her own voice, you hear off in the distance the faint flap of wings as the migratory birds go wheeling overhead, brought back on track now that they don't have to avoid this terrible place anymore and go about doing what they would do. And so I look up at them and smile. I reach down into my bag and I pull out a small pan and a small handful of eggs and say, this is the good place of any to make camp for the night. Omelets?
Are they duck eggs?
Of course they're duck eggs. Of course, it's
Oh my
the circle
God.
of life, man. It's the circle of life, you know? And I guess, does anyone want to contribute to the making of the camp before?
I think Lindholm just because we're at these salt cliffs, right?
Mm.
I think Lindholm is just gonna crack some of the salt off of the stone and bring it over to season the eggs.
So make sure you taste it first before you salt it. That's it. It's a symbol of upbringing to taste your food before you season it, boy.
I think Lady Fave has been so overwhelmed with the loss of this, but also the liberation of what it means to lose this, and watching all of you who helped make it a reality kind of at a distance. And she crumbles this salt rock into a circle around herself, blocking her magics from all of you and the surroundings, so that you can enjoy a time full of sound and joy and vibrancy as she sits in her silence.
I love that.
I collect wood. Very practical. We need fire for our omelet, and I I enjoy the solitude because I've been with you all for a very long time now in this arduous journey. And the relief of foregoing the end of the world is... So it's time for me to breathe and enjoy the sounds of everything around us on the cliffs.
All right.
I offer nothing. But, you know, my silence, I plop my butt down around where Rastin Vola's making the omelet. And I'm just going to massage my own feet, you know, kick off my boot and do my own thing. Nothing positive.
Not near the food, Zavola. Not near the...
You can move it.
I realize I'm supposed to draw a problem, but I realize we're also short on time. So
Yeah.
what does that mean? We take a win? I don't know.
I say we
kind of short on time.
Yeah.
So I think we can skip this problem now, knowing that it would be solved with our final word of deep love, and we can head into the final phase of the game and just rush through that real quick.
Like the 20-minute outro showing that we went back to the Shire and everything was fine for a protracted
Montage.
number of years. Yeah.
So, after the last words are used to cast a spell, no more cards are drawn. Each player then takes an additional turn to share what they learned about magic over the course of the journey. So, typically from there, we'd play our location cards backwards and describe what has changed about each location. That's going to be time consuming. We'll skip that. So for now, we'll go around once saying what we learned about magic, and then we'll take a moment at the end to solidify that into a specific phrase. So, B, why don't you start us off with what did Zavala learn about magic?
I mean, I was going to kind of launch into a monologue, but are you looking for something rather succinct?
Something succinct would be
Oh,
good.
dear. Not my forte. They learned that even when you have nothing to give and when those will continue to take, there is still enough love to go around.
I like that. Vinifera.
Soul magic is still as terrifying as I expected it to be, and realized that silence really is the best medicine for it.
Fave.
I think that Lady Fave learned that magic cannot come from taking it. It can only come in a form of giving, which she learned after she gave her book, as she is now beginning to learn the forbidden magics of speechless magic.
It's powerful.
Yes, yes.
Lindholm learned that there are a lot fewer accidents when you have other people around to check your shit. Yeah, and I think that's simply what he learned. That's it. What about Rostin Vola?
That good and evil are illusions and useless social constructs. There is only balance and imbalance, because at the end of all things, on the brink of the apocalypse, true and deep selfless love was equally valuable as outright selfish deception for restoring the balance of reality.
Why'd you have to bring that part up?
Wow. About balance. Nice.
About balance.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He shifted into his final form as a Taoist over here. And can love the ducks while I'm eating the eggs, and lo, the
Damn,
wheel
that's
continues
deep.
to turn.
Right.
That's deep, y'all.
So typically at the end, we would now go back through the locations and describe what's changed so we can see sort of the effects of our actions. And then when we got home, we would all as players sit in silence and write a short phrase on our character that says, "My words are." That is a reflection of how the journey has changed your magic. Since we're short on time, I think that's a thing that we can do for ourselves, which is the primary purpose of it anyway. And I will pass it back to Victoria.
I would just like to say one thing I know changed. There was 73% less skeletal Pegasus with knights on their backs. At least 73%, maybe 75%.
Many more birds have returned. You know, they doing bird things.
More birds, less skeletons.
Mr. Briggles has some buddies. Like, that's great.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you everyone for playing.
Amazing.
Real quick. Why don't we start with Dylan? Where can we find you and your work?
Yeah, you can find me at Anarasis on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, and itch.io, and as Dylan Grinder on the Roll20 Marketplace, where you can get this game to play on your own or with friends as you feel so moved.
Dave.
Let me make sure I'm unmuted. I am B. Dave Walters. I say words about things. You can find me 7 days a week somewhere. Immediately after this, I'll be on D&D Beyond at 6 o'clock for Silver and Steel. At 8:30, I will be DMing Hunter's Entertainment Outbreak Undead, Outbreak Year Zero. Those are both tonight. Thursdays, Roll for It Ascension. Thursday mornings and the nights, 5 Pacific. Dungeons and Dragons of Dark and Wish. Friday, Rage Across New York is starting at 5 Pacific. And then I'm literally somewhere all the time. So just follow me at B. Dave Walters. I don't expect you to keep up with it because I barely can myself.
Do you sleep?
Nope.
Okay. Checking.
I'm like, that is a word I do not understand from this deck. You're like, it's eep. I'm like, I don't grasp the concept.
Never tried. Don't have time.
Well, you are a vampire sometimes.
Ah, I like that play. That was
Give
good.
away
No,
those kindred
those are
secrets,
not
yo.
real. No, that is. No,
Right.
vampires aren't real, kids. Please go about your lives and continue working your jobs and paying taxes.
Maybe give them a follow. You might find out some stuff about vampires. But hello, my name is B. I am found on Twitter as at B_Zelda. If you add an extra underscore, you can find me on Instagram. Post a lot about my dog pictures. I do podcast stuff. The Broadswords, wonderful. All Women Non-Binary Actual Play RPG podcast. I stream. I'm going to be streaming this Saturday on the Saving Throw show. We're going to be playing Icarus, which is really cool, and I'm really hyped about it. I do other stuff. Magpie Games, hang out with me. I will run a game of Root for you. Just follow me, and then you can find out.
Dot.
And I'm Dot. Little Red Dot online and all the places that you can search with your fingertips. Go check it out. I'm very excited. In 2 weeks' time, I'm launching a brand new Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition podcast called The Stitch of Fate with a great group of people, including Mark Meir, which is going to be pretty exciting. The talent never fails to amaze. And the rest of the time, I'm here, there, and everywhere. In fact, actually, I'm pinging literally straight from here into a game of For the Queen over on Dad's Garage ATL, which is a theater company I work for, an improv house by day. And we started a Twitch channel, so you can come check us out as we're going to play some For the Queen next.
Yes.
And as always, you can find me here every Tuesday from 6 to 8 ET. And next week we will be playing The Quiet Year, which I am thrilled about. You can also find me starting this Thursday on Play Renegades channel. We are playing a Wardlings RPG. It's our session 0, so check it out. It'll be at 1 o'clock PT. All right, well, thank you everyone, and have a good day.